Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Dancing Oracle with Najia. I have a really special guest on today, Kristen Hustead. As I say that right, Kristen?
Yeah,
Yes.
Houston. That,
So I'm a
that's fine.
psychic medium. She has other gifts. I really love collaborating with other gifted intuitives. Kristen, tell them all about you.
Sure. Well, thank you, Najia, for having me. I was excited about this interview. My name is Kristen Hustead, and I have been for the last 9 years in my own private practice called Well Balanced. And about 4 years ago, we moved up to Central Arizona or Northern Arizona to start what I call a healing farm. But prior to that, I was in Phoenix and doing this integrative holistic therapy, which is bringing the body, mind, and spirit together for healing. So as I've been in the fitness industry for over 35 years, and if you would have asked me 10 years ago how I thought healing happened, well, I'd say, well, you just keep your body strong and eat healthy. But as I got into, so I was a fitness director most of my life at
Yeah.
various high-end establishments. And so when I was at my last one 10 years ago, I wanted to bring something special to the institution, to the facility that was healing. And so I went and became a fascial stretch therapist. And so I'm a level 3 fascial stretch therapist. And that just started me on this role. Not only were there mystical, magical things happening and guidance from what I'd call this one woman Angel Jen. This one woman came into my life and just walked me through everything, and that's in my book because it was so profound. But
Oh,
yeah, but so she guided me and helped me. Said, "Hey, you're being called to something greater than just this." So I just started following all the guides and intuition, and as I was working on people physically to just relieve, their rotator cuff or back pain or whatever they had, I started to notice deep emotional releases on them as well. And I even noticed emotional releases on myself when I was in my level 3 fascial stretch therapy course. And I asked my instructor, what is this about? And so she turned me on to a doctor called Dr. Candace Pert, Molecules of Emotion. And I read that book about how the fascia holds emotion. So, I mean, it started me on this voracious journey of learning why my clients were not only getting physically healed, but also uh, emotionally healed. And then one of my clients, at this point, I'm like, something magical has happened. I could feel it. One of my clients said, "Hey, you have the gift of touch and you should get Reiki certified." And I had to laugh because my mom was Reiki when I was younger and I used to make fun of her. I'm like, oh gosh, mom, what's that about? Like
oh
putting your
my
hands
God,
on people.
she
She
must
was a
ahead of her time.
She was
Yeah.
ahead of her time. She is was ahead of her time. And so when this client told me that, I'm like, hey, I'm all in now because there's something bigger than me happening here for healing. So I went to my Reiki instructor, Brenda's house, and I sat down and she said, "You have the gift of healing, and I'd like to teach you for free." And she had a frozen
Oh,
shoulder at the time. And, it was just one of those magical things. So I worked on her frozen shoulder as she certified me to become a Reiki master. And then after that, I was told many, many, many times in my meditations in my quiet time that you will be asked to lay hands on people for healing so that spirit could come through and do the healing. And to be honest, I was like, no way. And I said that quite often, like, nope, nope. And then I'd have profound dreams. I mean, it was so weird. Like Mother Mary came to me in my dreams several times and would
yeah.
say, I understand how you feel. This is scary, but you're being called to do this. So at one point, I had to have faith. And I was like, okay, I don't know what this means, but I'm all in. So as I started to do Reiki on people, I really didn't know what I was doing as much as just connecting to that higher wisdom for them
Yeah.
and just stepping out of the way. And profound insights and healing started happening. And I was like, well, it's nothing I'm doing. It's more of this connection of them in a relaxed state going up. And I have this guided meditation that I lead people up to the healing light and I let them fill in the blank of what that means to them because I'm not here to tell anyone what to believe in, but I tell everybody there is a
No,
higher power. So,
no, that's
anyways, so yeah, so that started my journey and how I wrote my book and all.
and I we will definitely put the link for all our information in the description box. But what's really interesting, I was guided to your channel from Tom Timor, who's been a guest on my channel a lot.
Right.
And he talks a lot about all kinds of things, but recently about some of the changes that Mother Earth is
Right.
going to go through. And he recommended that you come on my channel to talk about that because I'm always trying to put the puzzle pieces together because I
Right.
get my visions, I get my clairaudience and claircognizance, but I don't know everything, this full picture. I really love having us all come together. And do you know that ancient sometimes it's Buddhist, sometimes Hindu, they both have the same story about what is God, and there's an elephant
Mm.
in a house.
Hmm.
And there's one person looking through the window, there's another person through the door, another person through another area, and one person's like, oh, they see the feet, and they said God's like, this hard substance like the nails, and then another person's feeling the tail, another person's feeling the nose. So everyone
Oh,
has a different perception of God, but everyone's got that piece, and that's what I really want bringing people on my channel for whatever, anyone tuned in. But you had a lot of healing information on your channel, which is profound, which I want to make sure people listen to, of all the amazing things that are going to happen as we shift.
yes.
There's a physical shift, there's an energetic shift. Now, some people recently were upset with the physical shifting that's going to happen on the planet. I'd love for you to talk about that after we talk about all the profound, amazing things to look forward to as we connect to our guides, to our angels. Tell us more about what you've been getting, um, that we are going to be excited.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's going to be
That's
worth
great.
the birth pains. It's going to be worth the
Yes.
labor pains.
It will be worth the birth pains. I will tell you that. I
Yeah.
almost feel emotional even saying that. So, and I'm not someone special or anything like that. This is just my path that I was called to do. So, everyone has their own unique path, and this is just mine. And so, as I walked away from my little scared self of like, what does this mean? And just allowed this divine energy to come in and do whatever, I have seen. Okay, so I'll just say a few stories like the wind. The wind talks a lot to people, and especially when I'm in my office, and that feels like more like the Holy Spirit. And as I work on people, people go, "What is that?" The wind whips around the office, and sometimes it like even comes through the window. And I've seen just miraculous changes, just like with this wind coming through. And I'm like, "Hey," after every client, I go, we don't need to understand this. You just say thank you because there's a lot we don't understand. And then I just recently, about a couple months ago, had a woman with, I talk about this a lot because it was so profound. She had one leg and was told, she has two young children, was told she is dying and there's nothing they could do. She has cancer in her blood. So I can be dramatic sometimes. I opened my door to my office and I said, please, let's let that story stay outside and let's allow for the wonder and mystery of life. And as her body was releasing, I'm a body worker as well as Reiki and intuitive medical intuitive. I'm telling her, hey, this is what's in your body. And she's like, how do you know? I go, because your body's telling me. And she would cry about it. And I said, we need to heal this. So I have a lot of scientific research behind this too. But so as
Wow.
she healed, then at the end, it was like a 2 hour, 2 or 3 hour session. I can energetically see, and I'm like, I don't see any cancer. I go, I'm not a doctor, but I do know how to read energy. And I go, I don't see anything. And I go, do you want to live? And she goes, yes, of course. I said, okay. Well, she's cancer free now. And that's the beautiful thing. And so it's story after story of brain tumors and, even chronic back issues and suicidal tendencies. They get a lot of just healing. So I just learned to say, hey, thanks. I don't try to figure it out. These are the things that I think that we're walking into because it's a letting go of our compressed state of where we have kept things and allow for the wonder and mystery. We have to walk away from that logical mind and just say, hey, there's something bigger that we don't understand, but we are connected to that. We are a part of that greater picture. And as we walk into our true nature of who we are, these are the gifts that we will get more so, all of them, but they will only come with non-judgment and love. They will not come on for anything else because they're going to become so powerful is what I've been told through this wisdom of ages that has been coming through and giving me messages. Sophia, which means the feminine essence of the Holy Spirit. So yeah, I mean, it's just been crazy. I mean, it's 9 years of like my, jaw dropping stuff, but not everyone gets that. So I do want to say that because some of us have to learn to change our perspective in life. And I actually like that better because that's more challenging. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's more, mhm.
changing your
So yeah,
perspective, it the viewpoint to see the bigger picture or to see something that you're just totally missing, you know?
right. So in my book, I titled it, or I was told to title it, Mending the Broken Soul, because that's our first step. We have to mend ourself and our story. Mending the broken soul. Number one step, loving ourself. Number one step, discovering your body's innate ability to heal, because we all are connected to a higher wisdom and our body knows what to do. We just have to step out of the way, and discovering your true self. And our true self is that I am nature. And so my title to me says it all. We have to do the work. I've had a lot of people, I had a paralyzed woman who came in and got like, she barely could walk after a month and a half at the Mayo Clinic. Nobody could find anything wrong with her. Her body told me she was just telling herself she was stuck in life, and that she also had some darkness in her, and it was ended up being some drug problems. So
Yeah.
she ended up walking that day. And then afterwards, I worked with her to walk better, just so that she could remember how to walk. But she still had to walk through the releasing of her past wounds and this. So do you know what I mean? You can get the
I
one
know
and
it,
done. Yeah.
I know exactly because listen,
Yeah.
I don't know if that's why my channel's called the Dancing Oracle is I'm a dance teacher.
Oh.
And sometimes when I have private students, or even sometimes in a class, a small class, the guides come through and channel all this stuff I would never know about someone, and they have messages for people.
Yes.
And but many years ago, I was told by five doctors I would never dance, and four of them said I would be paralyzed the rest of my life and in a wheelchair and diapers.
Oh, well, isn't that?
And that
Yeah. Wow. Thanks. I choose not to
and
believe that.
there's no way I have to have all this spinal and neck surgery or I'm not going to be able to function. But I knew that that surgery was wrong for me. And I also went through what my mom was given 2 to 6 months to live from a cancer diagnosis.
Wow.
I saw the second that my mom cured herself of terminal cancer. There were the word got around the neighborhood that my mom was dying, and there were women, not the nicest, that were after my dad. My dad was the sweetest, kindest guy,
Ah,
handsome as can
yeah.
be. And I'm out food shopping with my dad, and I'm like, there's women like batting their eyes. Oh, I'm so sorry about, but they were like, and I'm like, mommy, it's like they're ready. Poor daddy started crying because they're talking
Oh,
about, he's like crying because he's heartbroken, and they're like already ready to pounce on him. And she said, that happened right in front of me. The woman was batting their eyes and going, huh, and just ignoring me. And she said,
oh,
your father's too innocent. I'm not going to leave him to the wolves. I'm going to live. I swear that moment she cured herself of cancer. Now she had one, the three major hospitals. They all said she's going to die. The fourth doctor gave her hope. Did nothing, like other than give her hope. Didn't do any treatments because they wanted to do all this surgery, but she didn't want surgery. She just wanted to be with my dad every day. If she only
oh,
had a call.
wow.
She never died. She never died of cancer. 40 years later, she has heart disease, things
Yeah.
kidney from that. So I know when I was told I'd be paralyzed, I knew about I knew about the damage to the soul and how you have to give up your story that's going against you. I read
Yep.
a lot of Bernie Siegel, who loved Medicine and Miracles. I read Louise Hay, and I became familiar. And I've had many things, that I was told, like I was starting to get paralyzed again many years later. just recently, and I had
Mm.
to have a couple MRIs, but right before the test, I had a really bad fall. And this is like the angels doing something for you. This is how when you pray and the angels help you.
Mhm.
I had a really bad fall on concrete, fractured my rib cage, really threw my body out of whack. But guess what? It threw my body into whack to
Wow.
where it was no longer spinal cord compression, but just on the edge.
Right.
So this is what happens when you heal inside of you, your being. And this is why I love so much of the content on your channel. I know we have the February 18th date that people are worried about, but no matter what,
Yes.
you have a team with, right? When you work on people, I mean, I'm a psychic medium and I get in touch with a team behind each
Yes.
person. It's like a lot. Do you get a
Mhm.
feeling of a lot
Oh
of
gosh.
beings to help every
Yeah, I
single
get
person?
every person that comes in, they come with a team. I get, so not only am I reading their body, but also I get messages both ways, and it's profound. And so what I try to do, I don't know if you do the same, but as I'm working with people, I say, hey, do you see this light? Your eyes are closed. Do you see that bright light? Yes. I go, okay. So I teach people how to connect to this, yes,
I do
this
that.
beautiful energy that's here.
I
Mhm.
do that when I'm teaching dance, because then, we're right together, or even on a Zoom call. Sometimes it happens. It's not my purpose in teaching dance is just to teach dance, but sometimes these things happen.
Yeah,
And
right.
then sometimes when I'm doing a psychic reading, I see when the angels come in this room
Yes.
because all of a sudden my bad eyesight is crystal clear. Everything's kind of glittery. The sound of this busy street is
Yes.
muted.
Yes.
And I said,
Yeah.
listen, and this happens a lot. I'll say, your angels are here with me right now. Are they in your room right now? And I tell them what's happening, and they're like, yes, the same thing's happening to me. So that kind of happens, but not the guides kind of just give, clairaudient usually,
Yeah. Yeah.
or through the cards. I do tarot and, cards.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
tell
but
us.
we all have this gift.
We
And
do.
that's why my little angel team told me in December, like they told me last summer, you need to stop doing one-on-ones and start doing more group trainings. And I was like, I don't know what that means. But yeah, we now I was forced all of a sudden to reconfigure my work because this is what we all can do. And so just like you, like I want everyone to know this is not something like, oh wow, she's got that. No, this is like what we all can do. Not everyone wants this, but
Yeah.
you can have the intuition to guide you.
Yes, I do a lot of
Yes.
psychic development because I tell everyone it's your divine right to these gifts.
Right.
And
Hmm.
I teach like workshops every month. By the way, if you're interested, I'll put that in the description box.
Yes.
I often forget to mention that when I do videos and to listen.
Yes.
And if you like us together and all
Mhm.
this type of content, please hit the like button, hype the video, go to Kristen's channel and subscribe. That helps us do this work that we do for free. It helps us, YouTube, the algorithms go out to people. Otherwise, we're just crying in the dark here. So help us help you and other people. So tell us some of the amazing things that are about to happen while the everything is shifting now and
Okay.
very
So
soon.
it sounds like everyone wants to know about this February 18th prediction. And I will, if anyone hasn't followed me or haven't heard my story, I will tell you briefly how it happened. So
And
I
then go
am
to her
also
channel.
right,
Yeah.
intuitive, right. And so again, for 9 years, I'm hearing this way and this way, from the body and from spirit and just helping people like on a very intimate, it felt very safe, like, and everybody loved it, right? Because it's very safe.
Yeah.
Well, this is more like on a global level now. I'm like hearing this way as well. And so last
Hard.
Feb yeah, right. Last
Like nobody
February,
nobody wants this. Like that if you're a
right.
psychic, you don't want this. This is not
No,
popular. People don't like you doing this, but you
no.
feel a responsibility to deliver
Yes.
it,
Right.
you know?
So right,
Yeah.
exactly. So last February, I started getting this intuitive, like what she looks like is this beautiful spirit that like was dancing like in front of me, like shimmery. And I said, well, this was last February. And, because I can read energy and I'm like, well, who are you? And I hear Sophia. I said, who is Sophia? And I heard Holy Spirit. And I was like, interesting. So after my meditation back in February, I went and I looked up who Sophia was. And Sophia means the feminine essence of the Holy Spirit, the wisdom of ages, God within. And I was like, hey, I'm all in. Like, I couldn't make this stuff up, right? Because I didn't even know what Sophia meant. So then for about 8 or 9 months, I'm channeling, in the morning, I'm in my meditation, I'm just writing this profound wisdom about the nature of reality and molecules and emotion and every, just energy and how the physics of how reality is made. And I was like, this is profound. So I was like, wow. And I didn't know what to do with it until back in, I think it was late October, I had a client come and she had a really wonderful healing session. And after 2 hours, she sat up and she said she was crying and she said, I need to thank you. And I said, oh no, it's fine. This is what I do for a living. I was real casual about it. And she goes, no, I need to thank you. And I looked in her eyes and I have never seen this, Najia, but I've seen divine eyes. That I have seen, the blue eyes that people come into their true essence. I see that a lot. But this was like an infinite soul. And I looked at her and I go, holy cow, either I'm talking to God or Jesus. I'm not quite sure, but please go look at your eyes because I wanted validation. And so she went and looked at her eyes. She has brown eyes. And she goes, what's happening? And it was just this,
So,
you could see she
uh,
had blue eyes and you could see there was a spirit in her. And she goes, what's going on? And I said, hold on. And I always joke, I go, welcome to my world. I have a very unusual life and come over here. And I go, I think you have a message for me. And I said, so let's calm down. What is it that what this spirit is trying to tell you? Because it felt very holy cow, it felt holy. She closed her
yeah,
eyes and she said, you are called to give this message bigger. You are on the right path. You need to go and deliver this message bigger. And I said, okay, this is what I've been getting in my quiet time, but I didn't know what that meant. So I said, wait, let me read into this message. And I said, Sophia, it's Sophia. And she goes, and so she was shocked. She goes, you're not even going to believe this. She said, but all week long, my coworker was mimicking Sophia on Modern Family, like Sophia this,
oh,
Sophia that. Like
Sophia,
she goes, the
the
name
actor.
Sophia. So after I said, thank you, Sophia, to that beautiful spirit in her, it went, and her eyes came back brown. And we were both kind of shaken. I had another client in 15 minutes. So I got a little
Amazing.
journal. I go out on my swing and just journal this and we'll talk later. That's what brought me here because I personally cannot ignore that. I cannot ignore that. So the next day I go, what is it that you want me to know? And they said, we have a big message for you. And for the next 2 weeks, eat from the earth. Do not be on media. Be in nature a lot. Drink plenty of water. I always get those. Those are my guidelines before I
Yeah.
get a big delivery. Okay. So that I was like, all right, I've been here before. So for 2 weeks, oh, and no alcohol, right? And so for
Okay.
2 weeks, I did that. At the end of 2 weeks was December 1st. They even said take December 3rd and 4th off. And I was like, huh? And I didn't, but I should have. So December 1st, I go into my meditation and I'm writing all this beautiful wisdom. And all of a sudden, my pen starts writing about this earth rift, and I'm like, what? And when you're in this deep trance state, they hear everything you say. And then they said, hold on. And they made me stop and they go, this is not for fear. This is for information. So I had to gather myself and we continued. And it was prophetic. It was off the coast of California, off the coast of San Francisco, a big earth rift that would come and bring primordial waters up and flood the cities as if they never existed. So this is what it said. So okay, so I get that message and I'm like shaken, and I go, okay, I don't know what this means. I have been hearing earthquakes for a long time, but I did not put it together. I tell my husband there's something big's going to happen. He's like, "Oh, Kristen, and we just go, yeah, I don't know. Earthquakes happen." This came with a date that caught my attention. It was so detailed. So the next day I said, I need to go in again. And I said, and I clear myself. I have this process, like I clear myself. Sometimes it takes 45 minutes. Like I make sure Kristen is out of the way and I am surrounded by only the highest good of my creator and the angels. And so boom, the message came in again. And it's like my pen just writes and it's the same message as the day before. And I was like, okay. So now I'm really getting freaked out. Not freaked out, but like, oh boy, they're going to want me to deliver this. I know it. And I go, I need to come in again. Third day, boom, same message, then loud and clear, like you say, you must deliver this.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know, I tell people, like my son was like, why can't you just keep this to yourself? I go, okay. So I told my son, I said, I understand it's not, this isn't like, I want to do this, but I go, if you did what I did for a living and you read energy distantly on people to the T, like I could tell when someone's going to commit suicide. Like I've helped people from a distance,
Yeah.
like, and
Yeah.
help their family members say, hey, this is what they're feeling and this is what they're going to do. And so I know
You
that
know,
I
you have
know, yeah.
you
So
have
then,
verification every time doing
right,
this as a living. You constantly have the
right.
validation coming back.
Exactly.
You
And it's not
know.
like, oh wow, but it's like a surgeon, like, oh, he knows how to do this. Well, I know
Yeah.
how to do this. So I told my son, if I don't say anything and something happened, I couldn't live with myself because they told me, God told me to do this.
Yeah.
And then if
Yeah.
I don't, and if I do it, then I'm looked as a fear monger. And I have been looked at that or a crazy
I know
person.
that's been very difficult for you. Kristen, I
So
didn't realize this. Sorry, I didn't get to watch the
no,
whole
please,
video. Tom
please.
recommended I got so into your healing videos. I knew about this February 18th date.
Um,
I saw the title. I assumed you were just talking earthquakes because people were complaining about that. They were getting us confused and Tom and everything in
okay,
this
okay.
whole debacle of things that, people in the comments or emails and they take what you say out of context
Yeah.
and they make
I
things
know
up.
that.
Yeah, yeah. So it's
Because
hard.
everyone's creating their own reality. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
But the
We
weird
all do that.
I didn't realize. So you're seeing primordial waters. So I got a message um a couple weeks ago. I was asking about February 20th because I know astrologically 0 point Neptune hasn't happened in recorded history. So I was
Right.
asking Spirit, what's actually going to happen?
Right.
Because I also was given other messages about things never going back to the way they have been.
Yeah.
And I
I
said,
get that.
is this the point when it happens? So I got the message for weird dates, realized my spirit normally does things close to where I live on the East Coast,
Yes.
in the
Yeah,
tri-state
that would make
area plus New
sense.
York. Yeah. So they're giving me messages for me. And got February 17th to 21.5, which is a weird date. And I saw underwater, like jasper colored underwater, like rocks, perhaps. It wasn't real clear. Lots of bubbles going up and a little bit of yellow, sliding in a little bit of lime green, but all this jasper color. And I felt also in my body for weeks. Oh, and it's been there. My blood pressure's been crazy, but all this like bubbling up in my body. And I don't know if it's a metaphor or a physical event. Is it a metaphor for the times we're in because it
Hmm.
feels that way, you
Right.
know, emotionally? But
Hmm.
now you're saying primordial waters.
Right. Yeah. I think
So
I
deep
think it's all
within
the above. I think it's
all the above.
metaphorically, I think it's human consciously is what they keep saying. They said in earthly form and human consciousness, this has never been done before. And I keep getting dimensional shift and I keep getting you create your own reality.
Definitely
So
dimensional.
right. So that's why as we were talking, like I'm on my channel, I have to keep myself really clear so I hear clearly. So I'm trying not to engage in a lot anymore because I'll get too upset and it
Yeah.
won't help anyone. So I'm
Yeah.
trying to stay super clear so I give precise information. What they want us to do now is to release the date and walk into faith about what you do want, not what you don't want. Mother Earth is going to release her trauma is what they're saying. Okay, this is her journey, this is our journey. She needs to do her thing, we need to do ours. So now they're saying walk in faith. What do you want, not
Yeah.
what you don't want. And I for years with my clients, I'm like, hey, we're not in Kansas anymore. Like weirdly I would say that like there's some huge shift and luckily everyone who has come to me, thousands and thousands of clients, they weirdly get it. They're like, yeah, something big is going on. Okay, well, we're here now. And we're not in Kansas anymore. You think about Dorothy, she was like, there's no place like home. There's no place like home. And she is catapulted. That
Yeah.
is the message I'm getting. We have to stay in high vibration because we are very strong creative beings. And what spirit is telling us, what our creator is telling us is, hey, what do you want? And we will be there. Align
For
yourself
sure.
to. Right. So now we go, okay, so let's let go of quote dates. And what they're saying is come within. So for me personally, they told me from the 15th to the 18th, no media, no be out in nature, don't eat. They told me to fast. It's kind of hard for me. So
Yeah.
I said, can I just have, fruits and vegetables or something like that? But they said, be very clear because it's a very transformative time and we have never been here before, is what you're getting to. Like we have never been
I
here before.
Nothing
Right.
is ever going back. I was
No.
also told about a shift like over a decade ago, maybe 15 years ago, and spirit channels information to me through my while I'm teaching dance, how
Yeah.
to work with the spiritual body, because helping people work with the
Sure.
spiritual body on my little piece of the earth helps people to deal with the upcoming shift that I knew was coming but didn't understand. Still, I'm not clear
Right.
about.
Right.
Right. That's why I love getting together with you and whoever else can talk about this. So, we could have a greater understanding. And I also just, can I circle back to the panic that people feel when they
Yeah.
hear a date or an event of something bubbling up? Do not add to Kristen's words. Okay? Don't make up more than she's telling you.
Right.
And know that your guides are there for you. And I just
Yes.
want to talk about an event that happened in Cape May where I would run my mermaid goddess retreats.
Okay.
And they had a citywide fire over 100 years ago there. And then there was this, and everything burnt down. Just not, there was hardly any buildings standing. But what was so weird, I was on the trolley tour, and they had these buildings that are attached to each other, these small buildings, and there was one building that was still original attached. It did not get touched by the fire, even though it's attached to the other buildings that burnt down. And I said, also growing up Catholic, they say if you put the Sacred Heart of Jesus at your door, or that, in your home, you will never be touched by fire. So I do that, the image of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. But if you are connected to your guides, and they will make sure that you're safe,
Mm-hmm.
you have what
Mm-hmm.
you really need. So you're taken care of, just like when that
Mm-hmm.
tornado came through my backyard and the four-story tree came down and did all this chaos,
Yep.
pain in the butt for my life. It could have been so much worse. It literally landed where it had the least amount of damage. It did not take our houses down. It did not kill anybody. I was out there 10 minutes before thinking, oh, look at that interesting sky. Maybe I should take a
Yep.
picture. But I was like, oh, I have to go in the house. And you know what? When you first get in home,
Yeah.
you're like,
Yeah.
run for the bathroom. And then the tornado came that I didn't know was coming. And nobody knew it was coming because we didn't have the full service back then with the Doge cuts to warn people. But it wasn't that long ago. But it's a lot to deal with after. But I was safe. My neighbors were safe. Our cars and home
Right.
got little damage, costing a bit of money, but I can deal with that. God forbid that my tree comes down on my neighbors and kills them or something. We're so lucky. You connect to your guides every day and you walk in that vibration and you attract that, you create
Mm-hmm.
that, you know. Tell us what you've been getting lately from your
Yeah.
guides.
So it's exactly what you're saying. And so that's what the beautiful thing is, because we have been conditioned to be sensationalized. And we realize we're moving away from this compressed society, this compressed way that we say this is how it is supposed to be. What they're trying to teach us now is that there's living energetics and everything has consciousness. And so everything with gratitude and love will change and shift. So now you go, okay, so what they're wanting us to do, what the heavens are wanting us to do is to step into our true nature and claim what you do want. And just like you said, I don't know how it's going to happen, but they said if you live in an area where the earth changes might be occurring, and if you have faith and you ask, please guide me, and you stand in that faith, that's
Yes.
the thing. You have to stand in that faith 100%. They will meet you there. But if you align to fear, is what they're saying, then you will have to play
Yeah.
out that fear energy because
Yeah.
this is an earthly school and you are creating your own reality. So it reminds me a kind of a similar story to you, but it reminds me of this story. We bought this house, and there's this massive tree right off of our bathroom area, and it was cracking the foundation and cracking the bathroom. And this
Yeah.
tree, we got different quotes for it, like up to $25,000 for this tree to get
Yeah.
taken down. And we had all these people come, and my husband's like, oh, God. And I'm like, you know what? I don't know what's going to happen, but it's going to come down for free. And he's like, oh, Kristen, he's like always that. And I go, well, he goes, look at that crack. I go, it just is. And so he would get frustrated because I'd be like, I don't know, it's just going to happen. Well, I also was envisioning that tree going and helping people. I didn't know how, but I would envision that tree like picking up its roots and going somewhere else, and people would find safety in the tree. And I knew that wasn't going to happen, but I just
Cool.
kept
Yeah.
seeing this. Yeah. So long story short, we had a friend over for dinner one night, and out of the blue, she goes, I want to lend you the money to take down that tree, no interest. And Kristen, you can just pay me back with treatments. My husband
Whoa. Perfect.
almost fell off his chair. He's like, why are you saying that? I don't know. I just felt like I was supposed to say that. And I said, this is how it happens. So she
That
kept
is
going,
how it
hey, I'm going
happens.
to write the check. Like she wanted to do it there. And my husband, like, hold on. Like he was in shock. Okay. So she finally gives us the money. We get the tree down. And I thanked the tree with my neighbors. We thanked the tree before. And then the tree was shredded because it was too big to move. So it was shredded in this massive pile. Like I'm talking massive pile of shredding.
Yeah. Which is
The
good for the
next
earth
day,
and the
the,
creatures.
well, the next day, my neighbor called, and she goes, hey, Kristen, do you mind if the children's home down the street comes and gets all those shavings to make a garden and walkways?
Oh my
And
God.
so they came, and the next day, everything was gone. 10 truckloads or 10 huge trailers of this. So now that tree is
Oh,
over blessing someone else.
and normally you have to pay that, take that away and put it somewhere, the
Right.
contractor. And now they use just perfect. They don't have to buy it. They take it.
So this is what I'm
The
saying.
lineup, divine,
Right.
divine alignment.
That's what I'm saying is what they're telling me that we are going to be walking into. And personally, it has to be 100% belief. And what they said is if you don't believe that you will be safe and it's going to cause too much worry for you, then you must move. And you
Yeah.
will know in your heart because you'll be like, oh, I'm freaking out. I cannot see how this is going to happen. Then you probably need to leave for a while.
Yeah.
And because that will cause too much stress, and you're going to then create that fear learning lesson. They just keep saying everything's a learning lesson, you guys, everything. So, what do you want to learn from? Neither is right or wrong. Do you want to learn from faith or fear? And neither is right or wrong because we are here to learn. And all of our learning combined helps the collective move forward. And so that's what I'm getting. Dimensional shift. Somehow you're going to be guided, just like your tree. The
Oh,
tornado came and you were fine.
I have
Yeah.
another tree story.
Yeah.
Another tree came down and took up three-quarters of the driveway. And 10 minutes after someone bought furniture from my backyard. I was like it just missed that person. And like it
Yeah.
fell in just the right place where it does no damage. And then I'm just cutting it up little by little. And then the neighbor came by and offered to help cut some of it up. And it was insane. It was
Right.
insane that like the timing and where it fell. And I had no clue that tree was going to come down. It was half a tree, but it took up the top half of the tree took up like 2 stories,
Right.
right?
This is what I'm saying. This is how the logic they said in the message the other day, you cannot use your logical mind with what we're asking you to do. It cannot happen. You have to go into your heart. So every time you go into fear in your head, holy cow, like I can create a story and it doesn't do me any good. If I drop into my heart, I'm like, well, my heart wants love and peace.
Yeah.
Okay. So as we move forward, we will go through earthly changes or whatever economic changes. I mean, it's a lot of changes that they're saying. I
It's a
don't know when
lot.
exactly they're going to happen, but if you're in high vibration, you are going to create that reality. And you will, like energy attracts like energy. And it's just a learning path. If you go into fear, that's nothing wrong. You're human. You're here to learn. So that path will lead you. And so that's what they keep saying. So that's why everyone wants to know so much about the date. They have told us the date. I have to hold that loosely because, my kids are like, wow, either you're going to be right or wrong, and it's not going to be, pretty either way or whatever. I
I
mean,
know
and
that's the
I
hard
go,
thing about being the messenger. It's
I don't
not,
care.
it's a
Right.
hard position to be put in, and people think you want to do this, and it's no. No, you have a
I
good thing going with the healing, like healing
Yeah,
people. Like that's a great all that content. Like you want to mess your content up with this date
that,
and the or these this rift,
no,
you mess
that's
up
what my
everything
son
you
said.
worked hard for.
Everything I ever knew is gone, to be honest. Is being transformed. And
Yeah.
my son said that, mom, because all my kids come to me, like all my friends, like it's such a beautiful, not only people I don't know, but people I know, because they know it's not me. It's their alignment to this greater healing, and I'm a conduit. And he goes, you don't want to ruin everything. And I said, I can't not do this because I was told to do this. And I'm trusting that my God, my creator, will provide my needs, even if this quote date doesn't come and go. I listened and I can't imagine that I won't be cared for. I can't imagine.
You'll be cared
So
for.
I just go, so be it. So be it. But I don't know. So energetically, I will tell you this. If I'm working on a client, like if I were going to work on you, Najia, I would, before I work on you distantly, I would ask, obviously we have permission, right?
Hmm.
I would sit and I would get information about what your energy field is giving out. Okay. And then I'd say, hey, you're struggling with this, or you're doing this, and this is how I do it. And I just relax and I trust. And then we get on the call and I say, hey, I'm just going to let you know what I got before we talk. And usually people are like, how'd you know? I go, because energy is real and you are emitting that energy field. Okay. So now they go, oh, they're like, huh. Okay. So this is true. Energy is real. Okay. So now when I
Wow.
personally, right now, when I go to February 18th, I don't get roses and butterflies. I get a lot of change. 17th. So there was a message. And again, I don't have enough time to post every single message on YouTube, but I do
Yes.
have for a very, very minimal fee, like all my work up on my channel, because I just, it's so much. So anyways, not on my channel, it's on my YouTube. I mean, on my website.
On your
Okay, so
website.
one message said, in the darkness of the day, something like the dawn of the next day will become the age of Aquarius. And I was like, the
Wow.
darkness of the day. Oh, the eclipse,
Oh, that's right. The
right? On
eclipse
the
is the
17th.
17th.
On the darkness of a day, the dawn of the day after, or something like that, will arise the age of Aquarius. Now, I don't know what does that mean? The age of enlightenment. So something about we are coming into, and then yesterday's message was the 17th through the 20th, just like you, very high energetic days. Do not try to compress them. Do
When you
not try to
what
figure them out.
Oh, what do you mean by do not try to compress them? What do you
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. I can talk very almost energy wise because it's just what I do for a living. Okay, so when we try to figure something out, we take all the wonder and mystery out of something and we put it back into what we know. And what we know is only what we've experienced with our mind.
Yes.
How could we walk into something that we have never been before if we are constantly compressing it with our past reality? It's impossible. I mean, this is neuroscience one-on-one. Like, in order to move forward, you cannot pull the past with you. You cannot. So in order to walk away from any past wounds or if any future possibilities, you must be open to letting the energy of that moment unfold into infinite possibilities, because energy has infinite possibilities. because
Yes.
each molecule has infinite possibilities. We is what I've been told through these messages. They're very deep messages.
Yeah.
We compress them because if our thoughts create a reality, then we say, no, that can't be. I won't be safe. If earth changes happen, shoot, we compress it. And then but if we go, hey, I don't understand, God, creator, source, please show me my highest good. And I'm asking for the wonder and mystery of life. How good can it get? If you have, they keep saying open ended questions, you are not going to compress it back into the past. We cannot move forward dragging the past. And they said our past has been wiped clear. We have been given free slate. Everybody has a new beginning. Whether you choose it or not is up to you. But they're saying because this new beginning is nowhere we've ever been before. They always say, how could you know you've never been before? It is so grand, so wonderful that you will be eventually. Now they say this evolutionary shift could take hundreds of years for
Mhm.
some, because think of it, evolutionary shift. We have to all be on board. And if we create a reality with our consciousness, with our thoughts, then everybody has to get on that page to really solidify this new era. But some who are willing to walk into this will be like, I don't understand it, but I'm all in. That's all you have to be. They say that's all you need to. I don't understand it, but I'm all in. I'm going to walk in faith. Does that make sense? Does that help you to
It
say how not to
does.
compress
Yeah,
it?
because yeah, you don't want to just yeah, you don't want to I guess
We keep it stuck.
keep it stuck and just make it smaller than it is too.
Yes.
It's so much
Eh,
more because oh, here's what I
Yeah.
want to ask you. I ask every psychic
Yeah.
or telepath that comes on because one of the things I got about 40 years ago about the future,
Yeah.
almost 40 years ago, 35, I saw when things after a lot of things change and shift,
Mm-hmm.
that there's a peaceful time. You could feel the energy of peace.
Mm-hmm.
And and I see there's two suns in the sky and cars that make no noise. And back almost 40 years ago, the cars that make no noise blew my mind. I'm talking to my car because I told some people I was psychic. I didn't really let people know. Did you ever see two suns in the sky in the
I
future?
have seen two suns in the sky. Mm-hmm. I don't know what that means, but the sun is constantly talking. It's constantly giving us information. So I don't know what that two suns, but I have seen that. And I have seen the peace and I've seen this utopia world.
Yeah.
And that's what gives me hope. That's what gives me the confidence to get up here and do this because I'm not in control. I'm just the messenger. I don't know when this evolutionary shift. I maybe that we need a date in order to capture our attention. I don't know because we like dates. We
Yeah.
want to know. We want to know.
Well,
And
it
so that's what
makes
they keep.
the dates make sense because how I got into the date was I asked about the 20th because I knew that's a high energy date, really
Mhm,
major, major new beginning. And and then it makes sense because the eclipse is
mhm.
the 17th. So that makes sense.
Right. It does make sense. I don't know much about astrology, but when I first, at all really, I just know it affects us. But when I
Yeah.
first got these messages, I was so, like, oh my gosh, I can't get up and say it. Like, what? I try to make sense of it. So I went in one day, this was back in December, and I asked, please give me clarity. And they had me write the energy upon the land on February 18th is the energy of like Pluto and Uranus in conjunct will infuse the Earth's crust, the energy of Pluto and Uranus in conjunct, not that
Yeah,
Pluto and
not the
Uranus was
actual,
conjunct.
yeah. But I
So
know
then I
that
was
type of
like,
energy, what that means. Yeah.
okay. So then afterwards, I was like, okay, so what does that mean? So I looked up,
Mhm.
is Pluto and Uranus going to be conjunct that day? I don't know. And they said no. And I was like, oh, I heard wrong. And then I went back to my journal in the message and I said, nope. They said the energy. And what the energy of that is was last time what that was in conjunct was the Industrial Revolution.
And
And
everything
that was
changed.
everything changed.
Everything changed.
This, right. And this is the time that they're saying. It's
That
not,
changed
it's the
thousands of
change.
years of history. I
Yes,
mean, you know how
exactly.
people were living. I mean, look at it was massive change.
Right. So this is, I don't think we're going to be the same. Um, but they do say for those who hold so too closely, too much to the past, and they're trying to figure everything out, they'll get really stressed out because life as they knew it will not be the same. And they'll try to keep like figuring it out. And it's, you got to let go of the past. You got to do your work. You got to heal and say thank you to everyone who's hurt you and say your sorries to anyone you've hurt
Yeah.
and move on because that is gone. And we are going to, where we're going is so much greater
I was
than
th
any past wounds. Yeah.
was that you on one of the videos talking about med beds and not aging,
Right.
keeping your
So
age?
they came through with a lot of that stuff. They said, we will, okay, so it would make sense, right? As we're moving into this age. So let's say there's a lot of earthly changes and we need, and we're moving into this new age of Aquarius. It would make sense that we would need more support upon the land of healing. So they
Yeah.
said those who are aligning to this message will get the gifts of their innate spirit of healing. So they will be able to help people heal and heal themselves. But for those who are not ready for that, they will need extra assistance. So they will might get these med beds, is what I was told. So that was coming like they said in 2026, some sort of frequency med beds. And the weird thing is, even they said at the end of 2026, if they're right, like I just listened, this is the delivery system, we will be working openly with our cosmic brothers and sisters in the government.
Oh
I've
yeah,
gotten that. And that,
I've gotten that. I didn't want to bring up too much, but I've also got that in the future. And our cosmic brothers and sisters who look a bit like us, I've
yeah.
come on come in a different dimension to me on various occasions many years ago. I wish it would happen again. I wish. But they showed me what the earth would look like in the future. And, they talked about, how important it is for us to be good to the earth. And that was their function,
Yes.
you know.
I
And
wonder
they
if
and they
you,
had me go vegetarian. It's so weird. Like
yeah.
many years ago, like I don't, they told me to leave New York. They showed me what New York would look like under, still functioning underwater, but and then they were like pushing me toward vegetarianism, which I've been forever since I'm young now, and vegan for over 20 years, but now I'm vegetarian again, whatever. I have some diet issues that I have to
Mhm.
with after heart surgery. I need certain things.
Right, right, right. Yeah, they've encouraged me that too. Yeah. So they say that we will be able to pick our age in this new
That's
era.
amazing.
I know. And how long we want
Who?
to live. Like,
Oh, the birth pains are nothing after you get all these great things from the baby that's coming in, right?
and I even had this is so weird. So there's okay, so well, we can even get a little more cosmic if you want, but like in December, I do believe it was that three-eye atlas as it was coming closer to the Earth was bringing us a lot of information. I
Yeah.
literally could say, hey, this is what the next 200 years are going to look like. I could just like, I got all this download of information. But the interesting thing was my teeth straightened in December. I don't know how, but I did this Smile Direct, these aligners for a while, and then I got lazy and I stopped wearing them, and my bottom teeth crossed again, and I was like, oh darn.
Yeah.
But every time in meditation, I'd see this light on my teeth, like I'm in my meditation, I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And one day I was like, I don't feel that cross in my teeth. I always would play with it with
Yeah.
my tongue, like that cross drove me crazy. My teeth have straightened and my hair has gotten changed. My hair has gotten softer. So it's interesting. These are things that I've gotten as well. So what I want to say with all this, kind of what you said, the birth pain, like if we can walk away from the, oh my gosh, my reality is going to change, and if we create our reality with our thoughts, words, deeds, and actions aligned with our heart, and that's the only way we can change things, then we need to, as a collective, get excited about something else. Because
Yeah.
the
I mean,
more that we let go, exactly,
there's so
because
much to be excited for.
mhm. And so that's the only way we're going to change. They will not come in and do it for us. It has to be us changing it. So even if we're right now just the people saying, hey, this possibly could happen, and then 100 years from now, people are still saying it, and eventually it changes, I don't know. But that's how shifts change, and it has to be us changing.
I think people are waking up. We're also coming into a time of getting out of the lull of the dream, all these
Right.
Neptunian influences, and
Mm-hmm.
we're really this week, especially moving into massive change. I mean, just the way the planets align, and also even in the Chinese astrology. Um, so it's on and numerology. You're number one here for the collective. So there's so many influences right now that we are going to have a huge change,
Yeah,
and the universe is changing for the better. A lot of the muck is coming up, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've been kind of glued to that. It's been hard. I haven't spoken about it on my channel, like all the file stuff, but it's really been dark. Beyond anything I could imagine. So if that whatever happens gets rid of that kind of stuff, you
Yeah, so
know,
yeah, exactly. And in this morning's message, Mother Earth came through again. She's coming through a few times, and never in my life have I gotten a message from the Earth. But I feel like right now I'm just like, hey, I'm a conduit. Like, what do you guys want them to know? At least from my little part of the world. But she came through and just said, I'm tired of housing the lies and deceit, the pollution, the lies, the deceit, the anger, because she provides us life. And I mean, we eat off of our land and all this stuff. So it would only make sense that all that yuckiness needs to be purged in
yeah.
order for us to move forward.
It's like when you have a bad guest in your house making the party and everyone down, and you're like, uh-uh,
Yeah,
never again.
yeah, you're not coming over again.
You're not coming over again. Can't have you ruin the good vibes. And she's just there's not I think sometimes people don't realize, yeah, she houses us. She's our mother, and
Right.
she's just trying to clear herself. There's no vengeance. You know what I mean? People get into like
No,
karma vengeance, but it's no, she just needs to make things better. It's not punishment. It's like
no.
it's clearing to make things better.
Yes. And
So
I
it's not
often,
the intent is beautiful, even though the change is hard. And I always go back to birth pains, like, when you are the most wonderful thing. I have not been lucky enough to birth a baby myself, but my friends have told me, it's kind of hell going through that whole thing, and things shift inside you, and it's extremely painful, and you sometimes poop yourself while you're having like
yeah,
like who
right,
wants to be told these horrible things are happening while and then afterwards you just forget all that because you're so
right.
happy for this incredible life, and you look at their eyes. So we're going to
Mhm.
go through birth pains, and just please just say that's the birth pains are just a small part of the lifespan of that
Yes.
being, that we're going
And
to enjoy, like that child. Any child that's ever come into your life, I think of my grand nephews and my niece, and just what I do without them in my life, the
I
beauty of those
agree.
souls.
I agree. Well, I love that analogy that you just said, and I have had three children,
Oh,
and I did them naturally. Like I didn't get the medicine because they came so quickly, but I had a choice at that time. Either I relaxed into and breathed slowly through each contraction that was so painful, and I kept my focus on like just a fixed point, very much like
yeah,
meditation, right? I made it
yeah,
through so nicely, but in the other rooms, I would hear people screaming. And so
yeah,
I think that's that great metaphor that like as we go through this, if you can just relax and just accept that this is, like you said, this birth canal, and breathe
yeah,
through it. Come into your heart coherence, breathe into your heart, keep yourself grounded, stay away from media, stay away from anything that's causing you stress, and stay in high vibration. You're going to get through to the other side, and you're going to, like you said, you're going to look back and go, holy cow. But those who are kicking and screaming, that's okay. Like the people who kick and scream when they're giving birth, that's all right. They needed to do
yeah,
that. But it was more terrifying.
yeah,
So again, they keep saying faith or fear, and neither is right or wrong. Like they always say, there's no judgment because we are in an earthly school. This is what we're here to do. We're here to
yeah.
learn. Yeah.
Kristen,
So
is there anything else you want to bring up? Because I'm definitely going to have you on again.
yeah, well, I like our talks.
I really love our connection together. I'm so grateful, Tom Timor, who's been on both our shows, has brought us together. And do you have I know you have the book. What is the name of your book?
Well, so Yeah, so there is the mending the broken soul, discovering your body's innate ability to heal. I
Which
think
sounds
I have it up
amazing.
again.
Like that would be a great Valentine gift to yourself for
Yeah.
self-care.
Oh, it's right here. Let me just look real fast.
Because
So
I'm mind, body, spirit. That's everything.
so
I love
that's
the
that
title,
one.
Mending the Broken Soul, because that's what it's all about.
That's what it's about. We want to jump to the fun stuff, but we got to mend. And then the other book that just got released, I didn't write, but it's called The Quick Guide to the Modern Era of Sophia's Wisdom. Sophia meaning the Holy Spirit. And back in December, they told me I'm going to be writing two manuscripts. One is going to be a quick guide to get us through. And they said that's going to be done in
Oh.
2 weeks. And I was like, holy cow. So like every day I
So
was
that's
writing
all
two different
channeled
things.
material. That's when you
Yeah.
say you didn't write it, that's channeled.
Yes. Yes.
That's
So
fascinating.
that's up. That's up on Amazon. And the other one, I'm at like 57 or so um, entries for the modern era of Sophia's wisdom, which is what they told me to name it. And they said that'll be due in June. So I just listen every day. And sometimes they're like, no, we don't want you to write in the book. And sometimes they say, no, this is for the book. And sometimes I'll write for me personally, but for the book, I only listen to what they want to say for the book. And that will be in June. So there is one up right now that is just a quick guide to this whole era we're in, which is interesting. It's profound wisdom. I didn't write it. I mean, I'm not that
Oh, I
I'm not
understand.
that wise.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, the wisdom of when the channels come
Right?
through. I haven't been blessed to have that as often as you do to such a degree, but when it comes through, I'm like, I'm not that smart or wise. I'm just like, whoa. The things that come out of my mouth, and I'm like, it's from a different source or a higher part of myself, perhaps. Um, but it it is something. It is really something, and it makes you realize how more vast we are within our being. Like,
Yes.
we're not just what we think we
Mhm.
are.
Mhm.
We're really connected to source and
Mhm.
held dearly.
Yes.
So you mentioned that you were going away from one. Are you not doing remote healings anymore?
So right now, what they like took me away completely from my one-on-ones, and it was like they had been telling me for a while, like, hey, you're not going to do one-on-ones, the heavenly realm, and I'm like, oh my gosh, so what does that mean? And so now I'm transitioning to do more events, special events of healing events, and also teaching people. I do intuitive mastery, distant Reiki. Eventually, I'll teach people how to do the fascial release and the mind body. I call it integrative holistic therapy. So all that. So funny. They told me last summer to get all that up online, and I just couldn't I couldn't figure out how to do it. And now I'm like, okay, now I got to do it really fast. So I'm working on providing more online, and I should be ready by March or so. But really, they want me to just do this right now.
Yeah,
I'm
to
not,
tell
and I'm
people
not
what
making any
to
money,
change. I know that's hard. Well,
and I have to trust. I don't know. It's not for me to. Yeah, it'll come.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it'll come.
So when you
So
do,
yeah,
can I ask you about your events so that everyone can know when you do your
sure,
events, do people come in person or are they through
sure.
online? How does that work?
I am currently. I have one tomorrow online, and
Oh,
it is my my integrative holistic healing stretch class. So I do stretch. I do get you in the theta brainwave state, which is the relaxed meditative state, and I lead you up into to that higher realm at the end of the stretch. So we open up the body. I teach all about that, and at the end, I run that distant Reiki like I would on someone personally. I just ask for everyone's highest good. And so that's been going really well. I don't, they told me not anything until March now. I mean, I have to
okay.
just assimilate. But I just came back from LA or Pasadena last weekend, and I did a big event, and I had like standing room only or mat room only because it was a yoga convention. And I did the same thing, and it was profound. People came up and said they were crying spontaneously. And so this energy of all of us together is so powerful, is what I've noticed,
Yeah.
that people were like, they said we weren't in that room. And I go, no, we weren't. So we had we went up into a more healing state. And so for like 4 or 5 hours after that event, people were coming up to my table and just asking what happened in there. And I said, this is what I want to teach everyone because this is who we are, and especially when we come in big groups. So now I've been told that just to start to plan those big groups throughout the country. And I don't know what that means. I'm sure I'll be guided, but I will do things like that where we get a bunch of people together, we do the same thing. And the healing, like it was profound in that room. You could feel the healing, like people were shaking afterwards. But that's because we're all together. And I did one at the farm, at my house the other day. I call it the farm because we have an acre and a half, but I did about 20, 25 people. And I guaranteed, I know one woman was released from cancer. Like she was bawling and I can see energy. So I held her hands and I said, I'm not a doctor, but she goes, I feel like it's gone. I go, I don't see it. So I'll have to wait to hear if she is or not. But this is the power we're tapping into is when we're all together.
Yes.
It's something about all of us together helping each other heal.
Yeah, that's the most
I'm
important thing.
right, right. So I'm going more to teaching people how to do this and teaching.
Yeah.
I want to be a teacher of teachers so that people
Yes.
can do that.
That's
Yeah.
really so also I just want to tell people
Hmm.
I have the chakra alchemy event. Just a workshop, but they're only $50. They're just one
Hmm.
nighters and I have clairaudience so you can have psychic hearing. I've had 100% success
Yes.
and seeing auras just because people
I
like it.
love
I've had
that.
100% success. I'm like amazed what happens in our workshops. It's the collective
Hmm.
energy of people coming in with a very open mind and then I'm like I'm in shock actually that we can do all this in an hour and a half. But with I do with a small group of 12 people max. So March sold out, but I have space for April and May, June and July for those workshops. So
I
please
love
support
that.
that. That's another way to support the channel. And it makes me feel like I'm doing my mission in life because I really
Yes.
want to teach others to use their own divine right gifts.
Yeah.
This is not
And
about
I,
me always reading for you. I do psychic readings. It helps support the channel, but I want you to be in touch with your guides
yes.
and your gifts as much as possible. And that's what that Kristen wants. So,
Yeah.
Kristen, I'm really looking forward to being with you again.
Yes.
Remember,
Thank
everyone
you.
hit like, share, hype the video, go to Kristen's channel, watch her videos. We didn't get into that date too much, but if you want more information and details, how to prepare, and you listen to your guides of what to do, maybe by watching that, and then know that all these amazing things are going to happen in the future
Hmm. Hmm.
and soon. I mean, I've been getting this is my lifetime soon. Things are never we go through the birth pains. I've seen all we're already going through the birth pains. I've gotten these visions 3 years ago, but I know it's for this better future and I feel peace in the future.
Yeah.
And there's two sons, you see them too.
I know. I
Ah,
don't understand. Just try not to figure it out. Just open your heart and say, I want peace and love, and I'm willing for change. That's all they say you need to do. And just trust you'll be guided, like faith,
you be
like
guided.
the tree situations that we talked about. Just trust. It won't make sense,
It
but you
won't
just
make
say, I
sense.
know it won't make sense.
It's kind of like when people get cancer and which is a horrible disease, but they said, no, I'm grateful for my cancer. I wouldn't have had
Yes.
this relationship to God. I wouldn't have known my own power. I wouldn't have healed my soul. So it's kind of like that, right?
It's totally like that. And I do want to say I love the book Cured because you're making me think again. Cured by Dr. Jeffrey Redinger. And he was a psychiatrist that wanted to understand how people healed. And he went all around the world, and really it was their alignment to living. When people were told that they were going to die and they said, no, I'm not ready, that's when they healed. And he said one of the number one things is to heal your identity, your past wounds, because that information comes into your body and it keeps you stuck. It is not who you are. From what I'm getting from Sophia, the wisdom of ages is we are pure source love. Like we are purely love from God. And anything outside of us is not the truth. It's just not the truth.
Yeah.
And
My
so, go
mom
ahead.
did that her whole life. She actually changed herself, her life, not just in that moment, but like her 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 actions after that. She withdrew from all toxicity with
And
people and
I'm doing
everything.
that now too. I don't know if you
Yeah.
are, but I've been called to not do processed food. And, I like my
Mhm.
chips and I like my glass of wine. And I'm not saying everyone else has to do that, but
No,
Our bodies are getting ready.
I
They're
can't
getting
have any
ready.
processed. I mean, I have a lot of health issues that I cannot have any
Mhm.
processed food, and I can't. Like, I mean, I had heart surgery and I have all this other problems all at the same time. But I'm working through because the universe is doing this to put my body in a certain way,
That's right.
in a certain
That's right.
frequency, right?
Hmm.
It can't do what it's been doing, you know?
Mm-mm.
So
We are
thank
just, yeah. So thank you. Yeah, we could go on and on.
I
That's
know
for our
because I
next
have a
time.
numerologist coming on, so
Okay.
and I'm going to appear on someone else's show on the new channel, Her Story. And so I have to get going, but I'm just going to stop recording. Kristen, hang on. I want to talk to you a little bit.
Okay.
All right. And
Thank
thank you
you.
everyone for joining
Thank
us.
you.
Thank you. Thank you. And we want to hear from you in the comments. All right. Create community, how we're going to move through this new world. All right. All good things. Bye bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Stop.